Alright, double checking on something real quick. Waiting for the stream to start. Alright. Scheduling stuff is interesting. Alright, I think we're on. Alright. Hopefully this works out. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Today we're going to do the AMD K6-2 Windows Millennium ME or something. I was going to install Windows 95, but however, is it booting up? No. I think I forgot the power cord. Excuse me one sec. It's always something I forget from time to time. Fuck. Give me one sec. Need that power cord. If I can find it. Alright. Gotta love it how I set things up and then forget one single thing. It do be funny. Alright. Okay, I think it looks like it's fired up. Alright. That took a little bit of the wind out of me there. This is rocking a next door hard drive. Let me take a look at the chat here. 1 minute late employment terminated. Right. Yeah, I disappear my VTuber whenever I go off camera. Otherwise, tracking would be lost. The computer was like under my desk, let's just say. Lights. Excuse me, jiggling for a bit. Oh, right. Is the internet connected? Oh, it's not. Is that the second thing I keep forgetting about is the Ethernet? Or maybe it is plugged in, but it's probably not completely hooked up. Here we go, disappearing once more. Yeah, I love old computers sometime. It's good for computer knowledge and whatnot. We can get this thing hooked up. There we go. Alright. So, what am I doing here with an AMD K6-2 computer? Windows ME is the best. Hot take be like the best operating system of all timesies. Better than Windows 98. Yep. So, for those of you who are wondering why I am over here using Windows Millennium Edition over something like Windows 98, the VIA chipset is fucking weird, dude. Like, I'm going to bring this up once again at my upcoming AMD K6-2 video, but for some reason, let's just say Windows 95, while it did install, it did not. It had some trouble trying to detect the AGP card, which the one installed is the Riva TNT. Um, so that failed despite the chipset. By the way, the chipset I'm using is like the latest that I found on the internet, so may have to try an older driver later on. But then I try to install Windows 98 Second Edition. Sad to say, I couldn't get past installation because of a weird sys dm.cpl file or control panel item refusing to work. It's like a error that pops up during the installation. So Windows 95 didn't work properly, Windows 98 didn't work properly, which leads us to Windows Millennium Edition. That one installed just fine out of the box. I don't know, it's kind of weird. The most unappreciated 9X build works out of the box, unlike 98 and 95. I mean, it could be worse. I could be installing Windows 98 First Edition, but we all know how that went, and there's a reason why we got Second Edition. So, right, I never tried to use First Edition, honestly, but from what I've heard, I think it could be crash prone, and it's also flooded with internet stuff. Because this is during a time when Windows 98 was all, oh, let's make this with the internet in mind, and whatnot. They integrated like Internet Explorer. They made their File Explorer kind of looking like a web browser. The most stable 9X. Real. Funny enough, for realsies, Windows Millennium Edition is not as bad as what many people make it out to be. Sure, there might be some kinks that probably should have been ironed out or deprecated. I mean, looking at you, System Restore, that shit never worked, honestly. Never liked it. I bet even the Mac versions called Time Machine works better. And of course, there's some good in Windows Millennium Edition. The first inclusion of Space Cadet Pinball. Windows Movie Maker. Who remembers that? I mean, most people will remember it for, that came with Windows XP, of course. Windows Experience Edition. Gosh. Like I said, this network card is an ISA, so it takes a bit of time copying these files. You're gonna have to get used to it. I do not have a PCI Ethernet card that allows faster transfer speeds. Without the foundation of Windows ME, there can be no YouTube. Sounds about right. Without Movie Maker coming out on Windows Millennium Edition, YouTube would not exist. Totally reals. Not fake. Anyways, the copy of this game, well, the game I'm copying to the hard drive, Postal, the first video game by the hit company running with scissors. I thought about trying this on a 486 because there was another video where this person was playing Postal. Oh yeah, this is also the first and only 9X build to have update reminders. Set up automatic updates. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know how many updates the Windows Millennium Edition had. I do know it was like, didn't live long enough. due to the major amount of, well, either a mix of, it being, you know, replaced with Windows XP because it was at a time where Microsoft was moving on from the 9X kernel and DOS. Second would probably be the people that, you know, overlooked its issues. Oh boy, imagine Windows ME being so unstable. It crashed airplanes and trucks that run the operating systems. It even became the fault of why AI upscaling and stable diffusion and Suno AI music exist. Yes, you can play AI music on Windows ME, of course. Alright. Is this gonna be loud? Let's find out. Turning it down a little bit. Oh yes, ripcord. Music to my ears, by the way. Whoa, what the? Now this is even more creepier. Yeah, this is one way to enhance your experience. The sound fucking shot itself in the foot. It's like, thank you, whoever wrote the sound code. Let's see. Yep. Been forever since I used Windows Millennium Edition. I remember going back to 98C after a month or two. Oh. Yeah. The funny story here is that my first operating system that I ever used on my first, well, it was given to me, honestly. First ever childhood PC. The Dell Dimension 3000, no. Dell Dimension L800Rs. Oh, gosh. This sound's gonna distract me a little bit. My apologies. But... God damn. You gotta love vintage computer games. Anyways, before I start hitting the menu, I'm gonna finish what I'm saying. So, I didn't use Windows ME that long, honestly. It was like weeks or maybe a month before my copy of Windows Millennium Edition started crapping out whenever I'm on the internet, but I'm pretty sure that has something more to do with Internet Explorer. It might potentially be, I think from what I heard, it was a beta version of Internet Explorer that was bundled. And it might have contributed to why people bashed the shit out of that operating system because it was so unstable. But funny enough, I heard from some sources that maybe the retail version of Windows Millennium Edition works better than the OEM versions because for whatever reason the OEM copies of Windows Millennium kind of got stripped out or had some, or maybe they used, or my theory would have it where maybe they were using an older version for the OEM builds. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on Microsoft's development histories and beta builds of Windows. I'm more like, if anything, Windows builds seem to be more interested in, unlike some others where they prefer, oh, I wonder what the history of Windows Vista, Longhorn is about. For me, I'm more interested in either Chicago which is Windows 95, or Windows Whistler, which turned out to be Windows XP. I heard it was like Windows Odyssey. God, it's slow. I remember having some severe issues running DOS programs and games. Oh yeah, and there's another thing that Windows ME got flack for. The lack of MS-DOS mode. Luckily that can be enabled, but I guess I haven't tried a DOS game that had given me any issues. If you happen to know what games gave you issues, let me know. I have plenty of DOS games in my, network share. What's demo? Maybe it's like plays a demo or something. Oh yeah, that's the performance I expect out of it. Although, maybe it's a demo recording that's capped. I'm not sure if you can hear me very well because of the audio. Fixing that real quick. Can I adjust the volume on this? Let me find out. Okay, yeah, maybe I can't do that yet.
Let's blow something up.
What I might do is, try to lower it on OBS a little bit? Probably. Mouth pictures. Yeah, that's the menu in a nutshell, and some of the backgrounds. It's like... Oh my gosh. When the menu pops up, it's only the music that's like so screwy. It enhances the experience of how grim the game is about. Like, goddamn. Oh yeah, it's got WSD. Didn't realize that. The earth is hungry. Its heart throbs and demands cleansing. The earth is also thirsty. Yep. I heard if you had the difficulty like if you had like the game's difficulty like high enough, it changes the briefings a bit. Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's only a Postal Redux thing. But you can definitely find out about it in the manuals. Yeah, fuck, it will be on easy for some reason. It's been a while, and maybe the, Wing Commander, not sure if I have Wing Commander, but I'll have to look into that. It's spinning. Alright. Oh, right. This is, I don't think you could strafe left and right, can you? Oh, this controller's gonna be weird. I might have to readjust that. Oh yeah, there's also, the build where, the type of Postal where it has that rather intense fucking, you spin me right round, baby right round, corpses. Because the game is fucking jank. It screams jank, basically. Yep. Back when you can execute, people, apparently. Well, we see a spinning body, let's find out. I believe the, execution of, the people you're shooting is optional, apparently.
Kill me now. Help me. Kill me now.
Yeah, they end up dying. After, you know, probably because they're bleeding to death or something. Funny enough, the game does practically use images and stuff for the graphics. Particularly the levels. They're all layered and stuff. That's why I can walk into this tree and I can't see myself. I think it was Wing... mouth pictures. Goddamn. Alright. Hostiles. They are referring to the officers and Marines here in this game.
Oh, did that hurt?
Man, that sound card is trying its best not to screw up, but it's probably part of the Postal experience here. It sounds like it has reverb too. Oh shit. Yeah, and you get stunned after that. If you're unlucky. Oh fuck. Come on. Keyboard only, baby. Damn, it's hard to hit him. God damn it.
I like it hot.
Okay, now I set somebody on fire. My god. Oh, man. Did I just hear the F word? Fuck. Yeah, Via doing things. Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, the Via chipset was weird. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a Via chipset weird issue, like a weird issue with the chipset. Or maybe it could be a DirectX thing. I don't know. I don't know, really, to be honest.
Did that hurt?
Yeah, this has been a while since I actually fired the game up. Especially on older hardware. Oh boys, health. Oh shit, I'm about to go on. Oh, actually, that's a good idea. He'll thank me later. Alright. All the hostages are hostiles, or people, or dead. What button do I press, actually? F1. Oh yeah, I was lucky guess. October 17th, 1997. Oh boy. Speaking of that, next month is October. Wondering what I'm going to do on October, honestly. Especially with content. Like, I have a video, I have plenty of videos being planned, slowly written scripts. I do gotta finish up the Doom 2 video as well. I've yet to see a spinning, well, crazily spinning body, but this map is going to be interesting, because there's a bunch of barrels. See? Barrels of fun. Top down. Oh god, this PC's trying to chug with all this stuff going on. Oh gosh, there's a lot of, officers everywhere and I can't concentrate. Set these things on fire, actually. Oh shit. Hopefully I don't get touched. Alright. God damn. Yes, basically, from what I recall, shooting the civilians are optional. I think what you're supposed to go after entirely is, the people trying to kill you. Sissy. Oh fuck, I was trying to look at my messages and someone tried to shoot. Oh fuck, sissy. From what I recall, the Postal dude voice was initially just a demonic, something in the dude's head. It wasn't actually him saying things. It was his mind saying things and stuff. It's pretty interesting, actually. Oh, fucking Christ. You people in your shotguns now. Oh, shit. Someone try to throw a granado. Uh-oh. There goes barrels. Yeah, either the sound card or, sound code is so weird. Oh gosh. Oh, oh, they shooting me. Well, god damn it, dude. Can you shoot the gas station? There goes barrels. I kind of like the barrels from this game, honestly, because they just fly around before they set things on fire. Like, god damn. Although it does take a bit to hit for the machine gun, the starter weapon. God, it takes like a few shots. Classic title, clunky to play. Oh, tell me about it. I mean, I'm actually playing the old non-Steam release of this game, actually. Because that's like the only version that works on, well, classic operating systems. I'm not sure if it works on Windows XP, the GOG version at least, but all I know is they took the source code and did some changes. Alright. Where else to go? Because we got 4 more hostiles left. Oh my goodness. Oh, I will not drop my weapons in video games. The bitty clunky Postal. That's honestly what I usually thought about running with Scissors titles. Is like, fun, I guess a fun game for some people, but so clunky, and they have some weird problems of their own. What's next in terms of testing on this machine? Thinking about it on the fly here, so I usually dig what's in my network share here. Try to shoot this barrel here. See if I can catch any hostages or hostiles or whatever you want to call it. Fuck. I don't know if it's me or not, but I've yet to see a crazily spinning body. Is that more of a thing for faster computers? I wonder. I'm gonna pick up health. Where did I go here? Probably gonna walk around the tree here and, Alright, picked it up. Yeah, we, got everything. Barbie fashion designer, goddamn. Alright, where's the... Wait, you can't straight left and right separately? I'm not sure what's with the 2 buttons here. We obviously know what the Q key does. Apparently you have to go press F1 just to proceed in the next level. Postal Redux does it a bit differently. Trust me, that was the game sound, not me. Anyways. Ah. Is it me? Is that the projectiles are these actually projectiles? Yeah, I see little tiny dots whenever the dude is firing. It's like projectile pellets. Alright. We're on the road, oh fuck. Bring. But yeah, like I said, I would, like, see a bunch of, like, bodies spinning in circles and whatnot. It's kind of funny, but I don't think this machine is capable of pulling that off. This is Postal on authentic hardware, kinda. Just a year behind its original date. Because honestly, this processor came out in 1999. I don't know if it's projectile encode. It could possibly be a either a very fast projectile, or ow, or it could be a like similar to how the shock rifle from Unreal Tournament was like. It looked like it was projectile, but it was a nature pitch scan. Particularly the you know, the primary fire. Oh shit. Oh gosh, look there. Poor man's swing in tree. Very nice. But yeah, most of these levels are just like, I kind of see it's like handwritten. No 3D programs were used in the making of these levels here. It's got an interesting art style to it. Where do we go here? Let's see. We have 2 hostiles in order to proceed. I kind of want to see if we can make it to the Parade of Disasters. This is, I mean, that's more of an iconic level, actually. Because I'll have to explain this with a little bit of fire as soon as we get there. Oh shit. Ow, fuck. Yeah, you might risk losing your health due to getting set on fire, but in return, just run to people and they get set on fire too. So it's funny in a good way, given you don't risk getting yourself killed. Ow. Oh gosh. Oh god, I'm like at 7 health here. I'm trying to carefully pick up health. I can't see anything, they said. But yeah, if you don't execute them, you're just gonna hear a bunch of suffering, pretty much. Ah. And the sound code is like suffering too. Yeah, you can definitely hear the crackling in the sound code. Would love to watch but can't. Best of luck to you. Oh, thanks. But yeah, it reminds me, that's why I've been scheduling streams lately, through YouTube, instead of going live out of the blue and making posts, because, long story short, I have sleep problems. It's just my nature. I gotta, like, work on that one day through sleep studies. Alright, we got 2 hostiles left. But yes, let's see. There's a possible chance I might have sleep apnea or insomnia or both. So, if I have both of those, I would have to be sleeping, I would have to take medication for it. Not only that, I'm gonna sleep in some, device that you hook around with your nostrils. I don't remember what it's called exactly, but I think it's like it's got the word C on it, but, or letter C. Anyways, we got everybody. We're going to the Parade of Disasters. Yes, we are. So this is gonna be my favorite part here. Oh gosh. If you can hear that, yeah, it's definitely. I don't know if it's hard. It's kind of hard to hear it accurately. I know it's like a distorted sound effect, ambient music, but I don't know. It doesn't sound right. Anyways, let's wait it off here. Alright, now. Gosh, the game is like lagging now. Yeah, there was like a bunch of shit going on here. Oh, fuck. Le funny parades of disasters momento. Ah. Alright. Let's blow something up. Okay, I blew up one of the people working for the parade. The parados. Oh yeah, ran out of shotgun shells. Damn. Machine gun spam. Oh no 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 no. I won't touch the fire. Health important. Important. Oh gosh, it died before I could execute it. Guy throwing dynamite when I'm like right at your face. Oh fuck. Oh shit, almost flied. I'm flying. I think there was like a, I know my brother was a big fan of the games, but I remember he managed to complete the game just only using the machine gun. I guess it has something to do with the machine gun having infinite ammo. Do I have the demo version of Postal? Because that one, it's wild. Because when he gets past the expiration date of playing it, it was coded in a way where everything gets set on fire. Including you, apparently. Oh shit. Oh fuck. It's funny how I'm playing this without trying the strafe. It's like, oh, go back. You're about to get hit. Making music here. With these barrels. Oh shit. It's the police. Yeah, I missed the throw a little bit.
Only my weapon understands me.
Oh, I didn't set him on fire. Game deceives me here. Yes. Alright. There we go, got him. We got like 21 hostiles left in this map.
Only my weapon understands me.
I think you had to like complete a certain percentage before, like you had to kill a certain percentage of people before proceeding. Oh my gosh. Explosions. But I do remember like, you could like spam the rockets, and you're like in this infinite loop, and there's like no way to outmaneuver that. We're practically dead at that point because of that. Oh fuck! I am low on health, and I'm not paying too much attention to my health. Gosh, I'm not sure why I don't think I use the grenades very well. It's like, throw a bunch. Why is it not getting the fucking enemy there? I'm like wasting grenades because I don't know where I'm throwing them.
Only my weapon understands.
It's fucking weird. Hmm. What to do? Let's try homing missile. There we go. I kicked in my legs! I hear a man's voice but a woman's picture. Are you one of them? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Anyways. I'm here for funny. Anyways. Yes. The same setup ages ago. Ran Tony Hawk like a champ. Oh, nice. That's very nice. Is it, what graphics card did you use? Was it, for me, I'm using the TNT, the Riva TNT card. And, I guess I ran Unreal on it, like, for a bit. Might run that soon. It was alright. What the fuck's trying to set me on fire? Ah, fuck it. Oh, I can't press the button. Ow. I'm dead. But yeah, Postal on this PC is... Ugh. Yeah, the sound card's like... Either the sound card or the sound code is like... acting strange on Windows Millennium Edition. I don't know if it's just an OS issue or not, but... Okay, I got most of them. Anyways, that's probably enough for that.
OJ.
What the fuck? That timing. It's like, as he's about to die, he just says OJ, and then... Goddamn. Probably integrated. Let's see. Basic ATI Rage. Oh god, the music. I wonder if what the credits sound like on this rather fucked up sound code. Okay, that sounds a bit better. Wink, wink. Yeah. Sounds alright. Alright, that's enough of that. Oh, dubstep. Oh yeah, my favorite. My favorite dubstep track. The Postal 1 credits theme. Exactly. Let's see. Gonna try Unreal Tournament. Alright. This might take some time, so... because, you know, network card is an ISA network card, and this will probably take a bit because transfer speeds are slow. They're slow. Good morning, you are just beautiful. Beautiful. Exactly. Let's see. Beautiful. Exactly. It's so beautiful. Right now it's copying textures. So I guess while I wait, yes. I'm gonna take a sip of drink. Yep. So, for those of you who are wondering, since I have like a 3D effects card, I can practically make a video, possibly, about comparing the renderers, of these, of Unreal at least. The funny part is that Unreal, Direct 3D and OpenGL was more of an afterthought. And I probably... Yeah, that's the thing. Unreal was designed for software rendering and 3D effects. Yeah, that in mind. First, well, software rendering first, because you gotta keep in mind, Unreal was in development since 1994. Let's play the burping game, level 1. Right? It happens when I drink. The drinking game. Yep. So, alright. Now, one weird quirk, by the way, for those on NVIDIA. Graphical bugs on Unreal game. I would have to demonstrate it sometime, but I had to fix it by disabling the W buffer in Riva Tuner, which you can't do on Windows 95, so Windows 98 would have to do if you're running these cards. ATI doesn't have these issues. But yeah, like I said earlier, I have like a compact machine with an integrated ATI LT Pro. It's like a ATI Rage LT Pro. With upgradable VRAM and whatnot. Remember when cards can do that? Those were the times. Oh, cool. Don't really see many making videos or streaming Windows ME nowadays. Yeah. Windows ME was like, let's call it the underdog of the Windows 9X family. Like, I will be one of those people and say that Windows Millennium Edition ain't as bad as many people make it out to be, actually. Because I would hear a lot about Windows ME being total trash. But when I used it, it was decent. I mean, it's not better than 98 SE to a certain degree. ME does have its ups and downs, but that's about the same thing you could say on a lot of Windows versions. Like, Windows 95 was very good. It's pretty, I guess, comparison-wise to 98, a bit minimalistic. Because this is before Windows 98 came out, and Microsoft was like focusing on, oh, let's integrate the internet to our operating system with Internet Explorer and whatnot. And thus, that's why Windows 98 became a little bit bloated. But actually, that started with Internet Explorer 4, actually. They would ship this Windows Desktop update, and that started with OSR 2.5 or Windows 95C. And that would it would try to get you to install this update the very moment you finish installing Windows 95, and the moment you install it, prepare for sluggish performance pretty much. I remember trying it on a MMX machine one point, and it's sluggish. I had to reinstall Windows because of it. That's why I don't touch Internet Explorer 4 at all. Was mainly due to that issue. Though I'd probably rather touch Internet Explorer 5 if I wanted to use something that requires it, like Classic Gaming Arena 95 or 98 or 9X. For those who do not know, Classic Gaming Arena is a multiplayer gaming service currently run by CodeJunkie. Originally a web service for people who want to play DOS games online multiplayer. And 2 years back, it was redesigned as a desktop application. Me and my friend from the DOSBox Deathmatch Club usually beforehand, we were doing things manually with IPX servers and batch files, and you name it. But when we discovered it, we picked on it and made sure, suggested some features like add-on support and the like. And that's how CGA became the mainstay here in our communities, and it got a bit of popularity because of it. Uh, the desktop widget with Mickey Mouse and internet shortcuts. Huh. That brings me back a little bit, because my first computer that shipped with Windows ME had a bunch of educational programs. I don't remember what they were, but this is from this machine's from 2000, of course, and it was a Dell Dimension L machine, mind you, and it would have a bunch of educational programs meant for kids. And I remember messing around with this one program that was basically an educational game, but for drawing, and it had the Sesame Street theme to it. It was I can only remember some of the vague memories here, but I don't remember the exact program that came bundled on those machines. But this is long before Windows ME, not Windows ME, but Windows ME was replaced on this machine with Windows XP Home Edition. Yes, that Home Edition, actually. We didn't own Windows XP Professional. Nowadays, you can just grab Windows XP Professional pretty easily, thanks to the Internet Archive. I remember trying to use VMware, and VMware didn't want to play ball with it. That's my only experience. I haven't used one a bit. Better experience. Oh, okay. So 86 box or Pentium 3. Now, my experience with 86 box is that as long as you have a rather powerful machine, if you're aiming to emulate something like Windows Millennium Edition, or let alone emulate a machine that's like from the late 90s, you would need a pretty powerful machine. In my case, I have a i9-10850K processor, which can go up to like 4 or 5 gigahertz and stuff like that. But for some reason, the highest I can go without a lot of sound stuttering and slowdowns is I think around 200 megahertz, actually. Some people were lucky to emulate more than that, but for me, I got as far. But this is me testing through PCEM, because last time I tried 86 box, the input on the keyboard and mouse tends to lock up randomly. I don't know why. It's weird. But for Pentium 3, I own a Pentium 3 machine somewhere, although it lacks an AGP controller, of course. It's one of those machines that uses the Intel integrated graphics. I tried Windows Millennium on it, and it's about the closest I got to a childhood experience, because I don't own that exact machine. I can't stop not looking into your eyes. Yep. Look at my eyes. Looky eyes. Look at my eyes. Yeah, look at the eyes and stuff. Anime eyes, glasses. They call me Akage Magani for a reason. Well, actually, Akage was basically just redhead. If you know anime well enough, or Japanese well enough, actually. Funny enough, yeah. Magane, obviously glasses. The one who fears Akage the most is Open Rift. Yeah. Take your fiber, Rift, if you're watching this. Alright, looks like Unreal Tournament's just about done copying. Very nice. Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, if it's kind of hard to look at the chat sometimes. Because the monitor is like a bit separated a little bit. Try not to lose track on the webcam, but let's see. Your 5900X will die if you attempt to emulate a Pentium 2. Yeah, that's the problem I kind of have with emulators like PCEM and 86 box, is because it requires a pretty heavy machine, and even then you won't emulate. It would practically almost be impossible to emulate a 450 megahertz Pentium 2 machine. That's why, if you're going to get into stuff like this, especially for 3D gaming, I recommend getting yourself at least a Pentium 3, Pentium 4 for start. Because, well, depending on your budget, of course. If you want to go ahead and buy a Pentium 1 or 2, prepare to maybe spend a couple $100. But you can definitely get away with getting a cheap Pentium 4 somewhere and grab a PCI sound card or video card, or both, and find your way into installing Windows 98. Like, I will say this for sure, if, you know, Windows 98 may not be too necessary depending on your games. It depends on what games you're trying to play. If it's DOS games, then it's a little bit tricky, depending on the game. But if it's like 3D games like Unreal Tournament, you can definitely get away with just using a Pentium 4. Those machines, I recall, can be pretty decent in price. Starters. It's only when you're going to get really into vintage computing is when you'll see yourself trying to invest in cards like 3D effects cards and the Pentiums and the 486s and stuff like that. For me, I've been into the vintage computing hobby for like, how many years actually? I do know it's past 10 years since I got into the hobby because childhood experiences, along with other YouTubers getting in on it, like LGR, for example. It brought me back into the hobby. Because I guess back then, all I had was like a old computer, and that was all I had. I never dug myself into the Call of Duties and very demanding graphical games out there. The most demanding game I kind of got running at one point during the times was like Quake 3 Arena, and that was practically it. Alright, yeah, this is going to be a little bit laggy. What happens if I look at 320 by 200? Not the intended resolution, of course, but worth a try. Damn, this is weird. Having to play Direct 3D with the lowest resolution. You would see myself doing the same thing with software rendering, but with Direct 3D, it should give a bit of more performances. But we're doing this for shits and giggles anyway, so very stretched out menu. Free caching. Yeah, of course. What does player setup look like in this resolution? It's probably not designed for it in mind here. Let's see. Oh gosh, it's kind of hard to see the player model here. It's so tiny. I remember Windows Millennium. I have it, I think, in 2001 or 2. Oh, nice. You want to hear the first time I used Windows ME? It was like 2006, or probably a year before that. I first got into computing in like 2005, actually. I was like a little kid here. Bitty little baby man, actually. So that's where I got my start, and ever since then I became more tech savvy and the like. Okay. Oh boy, mouse sensitivity is like 6. Let me try lowering that a little bit. Oh right, this has my old config that was included here. I recall if you lower the sound quality as well, you can squeeze in a little bit more performance. Never used Windows Millennium, but I grew up with 3.11. Does that count? I mean, that's pretty early. Pretty nice. I mean, I didn't touch Windows 3.11 until, like, during the virtual machine days. Because back then we had stuff like Virtual PC 2007 and the like. It's quite experience. That's probably how I discovered various operating systems that way and all that. That's how I got started learning about Windows 3.1, NT, Windows 2000, and the like. Because all I ever used prior to that was like Windows ME and XP. Briefly 98. But that was out of school or something. What else? I think I had experienced Vista. Like Windows Vista, of course. But that was like pre-Service Pack days, I think. I know what I didn't have many fun memories with Windows Vista. I guess I kind of like the look a little bit, but it just felt sluggish on a PC that I got like after the Dell Dimension L. It was a Celeron, of course, so that might be why. Semi-fond memories. Pretty well supported. Is the GPU broken? Good question. I'm using a TNT card, so honestly, the TNT for games like these, so like I said, Unreal on Direct 3D and even OpenGL were considered afterthoughts and could not be very well optimized, especially for processors like these. This is like a SuperSocket 7 motherboard on steroids. Well, actually, that's what SuperSocket 7 is practically. It's basically Socket 7 on steroids. Oh god. Yeah, like, I have like around, on average, 15 frames per second on this resolution here. Lower the volume a little bit. Concentrate. Oh yeah, the per app thing. Yeah, I remember that actually. Is that where it started? I thought it was like a set. Well, maybe it might have been this thing. I think I remember finding out about that during my Windows 7 days. Oh shit. Yeah, look at the performance of that. Holy cow. You definitely can't experience this enough unless you got like an ATI Rage or a TNT. I disabled the W buffer as well, so it reduces visual bugs. Yeah, like, Unreal was a demanding game at the time because of that. Like, it was even taxing on the CPU. So, unless you did some pretty heavy tweaking, just make sure you get more frame rates, that's pretty much like... Yeah, you have to like do some tweaking just to get some smooth experiences, and that depends on the computer you're using. Machine, of course. Yeah, that was pretty much me back in 2011, where I was toying around with operating systems like 3.1 and the like on Virtual PC. Oh shit, somebody had a Redeemer. This is how I imagine the typical Unreal Tournament experience would have been like on AMD without investing in a 3D effects card. Gotta keep in mind, AMD's lineup here, prior to the Athlon they were making, were like geared towards low-budget users. From what I recall correctly. Oh, Thief Gold. Do I even have that on my network share? Probably not, but I'll have to... I might have to consider putting that together on my network share. So my network share consists of a bunch of DOS games. And a good chunk of Windows 9X compatible games. There might be some Windows XP compatible games here. But I don't know if they would run on ME. Like, for example, Doom 3? I'm not sure if I have Doom 3 on the network share, actually. I kind of considered wanting to do a playthrough of it later on in time. Like, that would be a good stream idea, actually. I'll have to write that down. Oh, shit. Unreal on Windows 3.1, funny. So, yeah, the closest you can... But for real, though, the closest you can do, actually, for Unreal, on something that looks on you know, Windows 3.1, is like Windows NT 3.51. That was like... I remember watching somebody playing it on NT 3.51 and was like, holy shit. I thought it was like Unreal on Windows 3.1 at first, but then that's how I found out it was actually Windows NT 3.51. Like, damn. That was like before they had that Windows 95 look, starting with Windows NT 4. It was, yeah, thank God. I mean, honestly, I guess depending on the person, I'm more, like, used to the Windows 9X feel as opposed to 3.11. I mean, most people probably are, but there are probably some people that are really used to Windows 3.1's look here. I like the look, just the feel is a bit... It's a bit... It does take a bit to get used to, actually. Yeah, the Windows 3.1 GUI, I kind of wish there was a way to bring that back in 9X. I mean, you kind of can, but the look is gone. It's like a hybrid, if you think about it. Like, a Windows 95, but without the start menu, pretty much. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, the frame rate's like chugging a bit when there's a lot going on. Gives me an idea though. Can we tweak this? Can we go ahead and like have a smooth experience on this resolution here? Let's begin. Let's start with using a rather minimalistic HUD. And then we make sure transparency is not being used, because that's going to be more taxing to, but maybe the GPU at best. But yeah, so we got like maybe close to 20 frames per second on this area. Yeah, maybe 30 frames per second is possible, at least on average. So let's try it. We're gonna tweak the game a lot here, especially on Direct 3D. So, we have world detail set to high, let's set it to low. Do the same thing for the skins here, and like here. Disable decals, disable dynamic lighting. Let's try the level again. See if I can tweak this. A lower than 16-bit depth. No, not really, but I remember, like, you could theoretically go down to 8 bits, but I think that was more of a thing for, like, pre-release material, you know, pre-release versions of Unreal. Like, talking Unreal 1, to be exact, here. Okay, we're getting around to 30 frames. But you can reach, now, on small areas, it seems like it could perform a bit better. But will it be enough? But it's only in the heavy areas that seems to struggle a little bit here. Even going as low as like 8 frames in some areas, or 17, 24, 9, and now a good performance tweak, however, this might make the game very ugly, is actually turning off lighting. Although it can't work basically, it won't work on multiplayer. That's the one difference here, because it kind of it kind of seems like it can be on the cheating side. Oh gosh, sound is screwing itself over a little bit. So we gotta turn off no lighting. Well, turn on no lighting actually. Now, oh god, sound is like fucked up a bit. Try flush. Engine caches. But yeah, that's basically the sound galaxy. Basically, that's the sound engine for UT, essentially. Alright. Sometimes it craps out, sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. Alright. I think we're doing a bit better here. Yeah, it's always Unreal that I seem to struggle with in terms of hardware like these until you got, like, 3D effects cards. Because those are well optimized for Unreal. Especially on machines like these. Maybe one day I'll chuck in the 3D effects Voodoo 2 I have. And see how that performs. But I try to be careful with my Voodoo cards because, from what I recall, they can go bad if, you know, if you're not careful. These things are kind of fragile. Especially when they're this old. I saw 35, almost getting to Doom levels. Oh yeah, Doom's 35 frames per second. So, some areas we're getting around about in the 30s, but some heavy areas, close to 10. If it gets real heavy enough, then it gets lower than that. Wow. But yeah, that's what disabling the lighting, a feature that makes Unreal unreal, you know, can do. It gives off a more of a performance boost. Jeez. But yeah, when you play games like these, especially in a more competitive sense, this PC would not be entirely for you, just entirely. Unless you have, like, more powerful and well-optimized video cards, like 3D effects. This is during a time when Direct 3D and OpenGL were more infamous. It was only like almost at the end of the end of the 90s that they start becoming more taken seriously. At least as a standard. Not enough for fine texture and mapping. Reminds me actually, do you think this is what the Unreal PS1 port would have looked like? Well, yeah, kinda. Just with the light. But yeah, that's another idea actually. I might try to play that remake of the PS1 campaign of Unreal. I've been meaning to like play more Unreal. Especially since I got the 3D effects card. So stay tuned for me playing add-ons and whatnot. But for this PC, however, I'm probably going to have to deal with using a 3D effects card next time, because honestly, Direct 3D was... I guess it's good for some games, but for this game, probably not the best. But it does mean that in order to enjoy this, at least when you're starting out, a Pentium 4 will definitely play this just fine, even without a 3D card. Because here's the thing, you have like a choice at the time: a 3D card or a faster processor. And if you choose faster processor, you'll have to make do with software rendering, but that's about as far as you can tell with having faster frame rates. However, if you're one of those people that or using low-end, low-end hardware, then that's when 3D cards became more of a common thing, a common choice. I have to do benchmarks between those three operating systems. Oh right, yeah, that's that could be another factor here. Windows 95 and 98 and ME do have their ups and downs with benchmarks, as I believe. It's probably have something to do with how it's kind of like how I view 95 as a more minimalistic install, as opposed to 98 being more focused to the internet and whatnot. ME might be a bit on the heavy side, I think. I could be wrong. But again, I prefer using Windows Millennium on a Pentium 3. The reason why I couldn't, like, use 95 at least, or 98 for that matter, was mainly because chipset issues with the VIA chipset. I don't know which chipset I'm using entirely. I have to fire some program up to figure that out. But I do remember I made a post on Vogon's, apparently, about it, yeah. And I was suggested to probably try an older version of the chipset driver, since they were probably made for those chipsets in mind. I don't know when the latest version came out or not, but this is like, gosh, this motherboard was like, I'm assuming 1998. So maybe a driver from 99 or 98 would probably help make it work. If not, then oof. I don't know, some people have the best of luck with these chipsets, but I don't know about me at the moment. Remember seeing some benchmarks. Oh yeah, that might make a bit more sense actually. Depends on the PC, however, but yeah, you get like a minor difference here, but there might be more major difference depending on how, depending on the specs. Let's just say if you're running like Windows 98 on say 486, maybe I could see a bit of a difference. But at that point, Windows 95 would be your go-to operating system for the 486 platform. That or Windows 3.1, if you don't mind, skipping on Windows titles. But it's only like Windows titles that were more, designed. Most of these were probably designed for the Pentium processor in mind. Oh, 2 more kills left. Maybe I'll see what's next in the rotation. But yeah, that's, I think we're getting there with performance. But by how much? Maybe after this, this will probably, let's go ahead and go back to preferences here. Seeing from a couple of videos, it seems like 95 is the nightmare set. Yeah, 95, I think I got 95 on my Pentium 2, however. It still works, actually. It's just that, I don't know, if you see Pentium 2, some people probably, rather install 98. But for me, honestly, I kind of see a little bit of a charm with it. It's like, there's even people that probably tried, and maybe some were successful on this, but Windows 95 on a Pentium 4. I don't know why it says Riva TNT 2. That's not the card I'm using. Right, there's another thing. Drivers. NVIDIA drivers are kind of strange when it comes to performance. If I turn off multi-texture, map, I'll try to keep that on, maybe. Shiny surfaces, high detailed actors. Alright, let's see if it does. Let's see if it makes anything different with performance. Mid mapping off. Okay, let me try that actually. Now that you said that, because we are trying to make these more playable as we can, even though the game will practically look ugly. Doesn't help that your Pentium. Oh, you got like one of those Tutalon Pentiums, right? Or whatever they're called, the one with gigahertz on it. Like the late Pentium 3s. I guess it made a little bit of a difference. Pentium 4, yeah, I mean, 98 would be passable, but I guess if I'm trying to get into Windows 99X gaming at least, I guess it's doable, but like I said, getting into it, you'll definitely have a hard time trying to find an affordable machine for start. But the funny part is, I started out using an HP Pavilion, actually. Sort of. Oh yes, I also started out with a Dell Dimension 3000, which is also a Pentium 4. While I didn't have much luck getting 98 working properly, it was until I learned about PCI sound cards that were able to get sound working. But that was like after the Dimension 3000, well, no longer was in service. Oh gosh, Morpheus is like trickier too. It's like an outdoor map too, so beats me honestly. But yeah, But yeah, Unreal was definitely one of those games I wouldn't play on this processor without 3D effects. Though, what I might end up doing actually is me isn't about performance. Like, oh, I see. It's like anti-aliens with for textures. Needs more VRAM. Now the funny part is that the VRAM, it's like we got 16 megabytes of VRAM, a bit more so than a Voodoo 2. Except it allows 32-bit depth color, depth, unlike the 3D effects. 3D effects was like almost like mainly on 16 bits as opposed to 32-bit. Oh yes, let's take a look at Pinball here. Will music play? Let's find out. Oh wait, press one key here. I don't think music's playing. But maybe it's a possibility that it could be like a sound card issue. The card I'm using is a Yamaha SAX OPL3. Although I'm using I didn't use the out-of-the-box drivers. Okay, that's another weird issue with Windows ME at times. You have to use the right hardware. If using the wrong hardware, you might have some weird problems. But this also could apply to some other things, especially older operating systems. Yeah. Yeah, the music didn't play at all. It's weird. But the sounds work. But of course... Oh, shit. I am a bit rough on Pinball. But I remember spending hours on it. Okay, maybe I'm doing a bit well here. May jinx it, but we'll find out. It's the Pinball. Yep. Yeah, games like these definitely require concentration here. A good amount of concentration. If you don't, if you get distracted, that means you lose track of the ball, and it'll fall to the bottom. Better go catch it. Yep. I have not lost the ball yet. Ah! Oh shit, I almost got that for the third time here. It's mindless pinball. Extra ball available. I'm not sure how I did that. I'm not sure I didn't even know you can do that actually. I thought you had you had like 3 or 5 balls and you gotta keep them as long as you can. Well, I guess that's interesting. Funny enough, Space Cadet is basically OEM I think it's like a pinball game from Maxi's or something. The same people that made The Sims or SimCity. I don't know if they made it or published it actually. I'll have to look into that. Pinball. But there might be some other. Oh shit! I lost the ball. Every time I use the music was turned off. Yeah, I remember tinkering with pinball and then finding out it had music like many years ago. Should play. Oh yeah, Full Tilt. Yeah, I need to check out the full version actually. This is basically just one pinball table that, you know, Microsoft bundled in basically the only pinball table many remember because of that. Because it would ship on Windows ME, Windows XP, and the like. It did not carry on with Windows Vista because the aesthetic was pretty much changed so much that they had to have their own updated Microsoft games and maybe a few others like. What was the other one actually? I think it was called Marble Palace or Marble Place. I remember playing that a little bit. Kind of interesting actually. It's like you're like a bakery kind of thing. It's kind of like bakery. I remember there was like a certain section of the game where you can just bake cake or something. I'll have to do a Windows Vista stream one day showing that. But yeah, Windows Vista I had some memories of. They were okay. Oh shit, I lost the ball. I love how they initially said it was because it was broken for AMD 64. Oh, right. That's weird, honestly. Wasn't this program 32-bit? But I do remember, like... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, there they are. Maxi's. 1995. 3D Pinball for Windows. Purple Palace. Oh. I thought it was Marble or something. But yeah, I remember playing that when I had Windows Vista. But I guess that one was gone too, later on. Was it kept in Windows 7? I got stuck. I'm gonna have to press tilt. Oh wait, never mind. It was there, it was stuck there for a little bit. I was close to hitting the tilt key. Tilt the pinball. If you do it too much, you lose control of your balls. And yeah, there's times where I've done this several times if I keep my groove on. It keeps doing that. Okay, yeah, broke. Oh. And that is my score. 1,100,000. That's a yeah. It's 113,950. Ah, exactly. But yeah, that's Space Cadet Pinball. I'm not sure if I have the full version to check it out. I'll have to look. Okay, I do actually. Just copy that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah, the Windows Vista aesthetic made more sense. Yeah, like, that's the thing. The AMD 64 not compatible thing just doesn't add up, because do they have, like, it's like, do they have the source code to full tilt? I mean, nowadays it's probably reverse engineered and stuff, and it's been ported to other devices. Like, I even saw it on the on a modded 3DS. I used to have a 3DS, but I'm not sure if it works still. Alright. Check the other tables for the first time ever, I guess. Because I'm only familiar with Space Cadet. What is this, actually? Click, 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 click. I can't click. Can't select. So this, I guess we'll run it differently here. Dragon. Well, this is interesting to look at. It's got different sounds and whatnot. Table resolution, oh boy. Oh yeah, you can go full screen, but will music work? Oh, it works! I don't know why. It didn't work on the one that came with Windows. Let me double check something real quick. Oh, there's demo. Alright, let me try that real quick. I mean, there's a bit of a difference between this version and the Windows version. Oh yeah, the MIDI works. Because as you can see here, on the right, it's not it doesn't have that cartoony guy with a spaceship. It's just a 3D CGI spaceship. Oh yeah, and there's also the Maxis logo over here. Is it me, or is it... This is more high quality, actually. I gotta compare this real quick, actually. Can I run both of them? Hold on. This is interesting. Oh, there is a difference here. Look at that. I mean, obviously the interface is different, but the pinball table in the full tilt version is more high quality. And the text, like Maxis and Cinematronics, are red, unlike this version where it's all yellow. Very interesting, actually. But yeah, you can change the resolution too, unlike this version. 640 by 480. So I'm going to set this back to 800 by 600 because why not? Select a table, you're going to mount players, you're going to have a high score, you can launch balls. Yes. Mouse for nudging. Only in full screen mode. I don't know what that would mean, but... plunger. Let's see, what's nudging, though? Oh, interesting. This control's the same. Yeah, that's the funny part, is like, aren't the ones that came with Windows more built as a Win32 program, as opposed to this actual version being more Win16? Oh, interesting, actually. Is it Cinematronics that made this? Hold on real quick. Wait, do I have my phone with me? Yeah. Try it. Let me look this up real quick. Full tilt pinball. Okay, yeah, so it was made by Cinematronics. So I guess I was wrong a little bit. Maxis was actually the ones that published it, not developed it. Yep. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I must have got either the 16-bit version or the Win32 version. I think. But yeah, you're right. I think there's probably both 32-bit and 16-bit versions, mainly for, backwards compatibility with Windows 3.1 or 3.11. Oh, right, the controls are a bit different. Oh, never mind. I might have been hitting the wrong key, I guess. Yeah, it's interesting that the MIDIs actually work. Unlike the one that came with Windows. That's something. Unless it's just a bug, I don't know. Yep. Ah, fuck. Now, another pinball game I also liked is Epic Pinball, of course. How many of you remember Epic Pinball, of course? It's like, I remember playing that on the Pentium 4, and without sound, of course, as far as memories with it go. But how did it launch? That's interesting. It was about to land, but oh, it's launching itself. I didn't press any key. That's funny. Sometimes I would do good at pinball, but then I would do something bad at pinball. This is a poor game, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. Now it's not doing it? I guess I have to hold something, I guess. Oh boy. Oh, and it stuttered a little bit after the song ended there. Engine upgraded. I mean, I got a jackpot. Oh, shit. Ship refueled. Oh, shit. The ball was so fast. Just missed it. Oh, boy. You can tell that this pinball game gets intense at times, if you're trying not to lose your balls. Oh shit. Well, that's half the score I had originally, so... Ugh. Oh god, the game half plays itself. Kinda. Windows 3.11, codename Snowball. Huh. 32-bit file access. Drive sharing. Yeah, basically it was called Windows for Workgroups 3.11. At least from what I recall. May run faster without the stuttering. I guess I grabbed the 16-bit version. Like I said, I've been collecting this stuff through, abandonware sites, of course. I don't normally keep a collection of CDs around. I might have a booklet, but sometimes reading CDs is very tricky. Especially on troublesome CD drives. I have, some CD drives that are, borderline stuck. Oh. 3.1 and 3.11 have work groups. Interesting. Yeah, I guess the only difference between those two would probably be what you said earlier, 32-bit file accessing and whatnot. Wound up putting 3.11 on my Athlon 64. Huh. Right. I guess the funny part about 3.11 is like, oh, I got to work on my new laptop. All it needs is a generic ass VGA driver and ignore the sound, because there's probably like, I don't know if there's even a way to have like Realtek HD audio on Windows 3.11. Not to my knowledge, but I do know somebody was able to make it so you can emulate Sound Blaster. There's a project out there that allows you to do so. It's called SB Emu, I think? Or was it DOS something? I don't know. I don't remember. But I was able to get DOS running on a modern i7 machine using FreeDOS with sound. It was pretty interesting, actually. Let's see. Now, I'll take a little bit of a break from Windows gaming for a little bit and probably try DOS game or so. Last night, well, not last night, but I think it was a few days ago, I was playing through Life Flesh Consumed and was like I was having a time with it, actually. Especially on a 486. I had to lower details and shrink the screen a little bit to get some performance so I can play a bit better. It was quite something, actually. Windows for Workgroups 3.11 uses protected mode networking. Huh. Interesting. Man, I wish I could, like, adjust this real quick, because it's hard to see the chat sometimes. Maybe it would be a bit better, actually, one quick, if I actually can enable something. I'm about to make some changes here real quick, so I at least have some form of chat going on here. Let me adjust this real quick. Give me a sec. Because maybe, because how my screen works, basically, is, I'm using, like, I'm projecting the screen here on my other monitor. Because of, let's see. I used to use a splitter, let's just say. And because of that, 3D effects cards wound up not working for some reason. It's weird, I know. But, yeah. Alright, let me try this real quick. Alright, I got to where I can see the chat very well next time, so I don't have to turn around and whatnot. Makes it a bit easier on me, honestly. Alright. Where was I at, actually? Keep discs around, and unfortunately half of them are literally Linux DVDs. Oh. Speaking of Linux, actually, there was a new modern Linux that was catered to 486s and the like. PsychOS is what it's called? I thought about trying that out one day. But yeah, as for daemon tools, I think I remember trying to find a way to get that working on Windows 95, but it was begging me to install Internet Explorer 4. I was like, God fucking damn it, dude. I want a rather simplistic daemon tools workaround or alternative that allows you to mount, CD images without, too much problems. Like, I don't want to install Internet Explorer 4, and I don't want to install Windows 98 on a low-end machine. But in the case of stuff like 98 machines and ME machines, I guess I don't mind, because Thing is, if it's like a Pentium 3 or a Pentium 2, I don't mind, honestly. But a Pentium 1 or even a 486 for that matter is probably too much. Wait a minute. Why is it? I think the chat's a bit... Fix that real quick, actually. I think the chat's not completely seen correctly. What the fuck? Yeah, give me a minute. Why is the chat not showing things here? Oh, wait. Let me try to refresh this real quick. Refresh. Is it not showing? Don't mind me, I'm working on trying to get that chat system working. It's kind of jank, to be fair. If I'm being real here. It's not as straightforward as something like, I don't know, I mean, it's not very straightforward as like something like, wait a minute. Let me try doing a test message real quick. I think the message just disappeared. When I refreshed, I mean. Don't mind me, I'm over there like messing around with the chat thing. Okay, now the chat don't want to work. God damn. Then now you know how I have to do with it, how I do things, honestly. Improvising on a stream where I'm trying to make things a bit convenient and the like. Fuck. There we go. Alrighty, we're getting somewhere here. YouTube breaking things. Lol. Alright, the chat is working. Nice. Yep, there is text. Thank God. Now I can see your messages very easily. Instead of like turning around like this, just look on my other screen. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot about the watermark, because so long story short, why I'm using a watermark. Content gets stolen without credit at first. Luckily I was able to fix that. So, all is good. Let's play Blood. Because October's coming soon, guys. We gotta play Blood this time. Probably might do a Blood playthrough on stream, but I'm gonna be briefly playing it for a bit. Usually. Blood definitely deserves another playthrough, either on stream or on video. Doom 2 stream when? October 10th, 94? Good question. But keep in mind, do keep in mind, actually, on September 30th, I'm trying to release a Doom 2 video, because that one's turning 30. Now, some people will think, wait, Doom 2 is supposed to turn 30 in October 10th. But what I've learned here is that, apparently, that was a launch party. That was a launch party that took place on that day. It turns out Doom 2 came out on September 30th, from what I recall. So, hopefully, me, bringing that up probably would help some people figure out that the release date was actually on that date. Hell, even the re-release of Doom actually acknowledges that release date of September 30th. But yeah, I'll definitely look into doing a Doom 2 stream one day. I did already have a playthrough in mind, already recorded like last year. Yeah, a Doom World forum. But funny enough, I'm actually a member of Doom World forums. You can definitely find me there. September 30th. Oh, it was European? That came out on October 10th? Interesting. Alright. I'll have to keep that in mind. I was in the middle of narrating that video anyway, so... I could make an edit, actually. Yeah. So, Blood is done copying. Very nice. This, I think this is the retail version, is it? I have another... Oh, right. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, so... Blood... This is the original version of Blood, actually. Because I have a different folder titled OUWB, actually, which stands for 1 unit whole blood. That's the latest version of Blood. The latest version of Blood, which is basically 1.21. This is probably 1.1 or 1.0. At least from what I recall, but, okay, Sound Blaster ain't working yet. Nope. I guess that's a tricky part here. Okay, music's working. But it's just general MIDI DLS thing. That's like the... Okay, so the funny part is, Blood is I liked Blood multiplayer very well. But the thing is, the soundtrack, I guess I'm not too big into ambient tracks. This is practically the only track I've really liked out of this game, is the setup track. Like, yeah, the game is pretty good, but I never in the life of me could get really, get really hooked on Blood's soundtrack. Show opponent's weapon. I never understood why that was a thing. I guess, I mean... Alright. Yeah, I'm doing the usual configuration things. Of course. It's a hot mess for release dates, shipping dates, etc. Yeah, it reminds me, did you know Diablo was actually released in that very, it was either, December 31st, 1996, maybe somewhere in January of 97. And the funny part, people believe that was Diablo came out in, November that year, in 1996. Yeah, it was now that's one example of a hot mess of release dates and stuff. At least from what I recall. Weapon Special Fire, which basically is the alternative fire. Of course. Save and launch. Oh yeah, this has the cutscenes. Yeah, the funny story about this game, actually. This was almost a Apogee game, or a 3D Realms game, if you think about it. Saw this in my front page, and the fact that this was my first PC's processor I ever had made me giggle a bit. Funny enough, I recently got a hold of these machines, pretty recently. In fact, my first computer was a Pentium 3, so this is practically my first time using an AMD K6-2. Practically. Most of the PCs I've been using were Intels. Oh god, I remember, the sliders in this version were, they're not like the blood drip graphic, they're just basically just a standard bar. Slider bar. That's something. Let's see, I'm as old as the AMD Athlon CPU. Let's see here. Is there anything that is about as old as me, because keep in mind, I'm like 24. The same engine as Duke 3D? Yep, you are correct, albeit pretty modified. This is basically using the build engine. Like I said, even then, did it lock up? I'm going to assume it did. Huh. Okay. Let me go hit that reset switch. Thank God, there's a reset switch. Well, that's funny. Does it do? I wonder if it does the same thing when I use a later version. Because if my memory serves me correctly, Blood, the original version, was more buggier and unstable. But with patches, it seems fine. But however, I will say there has been behavioral differences in the game, specifically the older versions, unlike the latest we're very much used to. Because there was an add-on called Plasma Pack that changes behaviors of the weapons. So, yeah. My dad didn't have a lot of money after the Depression in the 90s. One of us did. So, yeah, it reminds me, by the late 90s, you got fucking these compact, sort of compact, low-budget machines coming out with, just to make sure people have, a computer at home. Because back in the day, these computers were not very accessible without shelling out a bunch of money. It's like the only way you could have gotten yourself maybe a 486 or maybe a 386 if you're lucky, or if you're not lucky. It was more like if you're lucky enough to even have a computer at all, it would be like a 386. But if you're extremely lucky or something, you get yourself like a 486 at best. The thing is, these computers were not really accessible. And they costed probably thousands of dollars. That's not counting the monitor too, by the way. You had let's see, if I can find if I ever find a price differences here or an advertisement, maybe let's look at an advertisement from Dell actually. Let me find that actually. Take a look. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Let me find it quick, actually. I'm going to use my other keyboard. Dell Commercial 1996, probably. Let's try that. Is there any from America that probably... Retro Dell Computer Commercial. I'm not sure when this took place, but this might be a good example here. We're talking about OEMs at least, because those were more accessible than maybe generic ATKs. Maybe? I think. Because these machines at least come with, the peripherals to at least have a, machine up and running, because back then you would, have to buy separate parts and the like, of course. Alright, I got something popped up. Let me, change something real quick. Give me a minute here. Window capture, volley. Alright, I think you guys can see it. Yes. Alright, so this is what buying a computer is like. Especially if it's kind of top of the line here. 400 megahertz Pentium 2 processor, 64 megabytes, 100 megahertz SD RAM memory, a 6.4 gigabyte Ultra ATA hard drive, and a monitor that's 17 inches. And keep in mind, those are CRTs, by the way, with Windows 95. And that's all for, how much? $2,399. That's 1990s money, by the way. But if you compare it, let's just say, in today's money, let's take a look. 200 and... Actually, $23.99 and 2023 month. Let me take a look. Like, we're talking, like, for example, 1997 to 2003. No, 2023. Inflation calculator? Is there a calculator for that? Okay, so I'm looking this up here. $2,399 in maybe like 1997, because that's when the, or it might be 98. Let's try 98 actually, because that might be when the 450 megahertz processor came out, or 400. So let's see how much it's worth here. So that would be like $4,627. Think about it. That's like enough money, if not maybe enough money to like buy yourselves like, I don't know, like very top of the line computer here. We're talking like maybe somewhere 14th gen processors, maybe multiple, maybe like a very powerful NVIDIA graphics card, like maybe like RTX maybe, or enough probably to use both of that combined and have a very, very large SSD, NVMe and stuff. It maybe like have a bunch of fancy liquid cooling. It's crazy. Okay, so yeah, I guess it debuted at 333 and 98. Okay, I was kind of right. So by 97, the Pentium 2 was introduced, and they started at like, I think 233 megahertz. And by the end of its lifespan, would be like at 450 before they started making the Pentium 3 processors. You built your AMD machine around 1500. Oh, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense for considering that these machines were like, I think I recall they were a bit outdated because they were on the Socket 7 platform by that time. But they built Super Socket 7, which is basically Socket 7 on steroids. So they were kind of oriented towards budget, people on a budget. So that being said, it was like part of the idea of, oh, let's make computers more accessible to the average consumer. If I recall correctly, the Dell I got back in 2000, well, my father, bought that for himself originally, but that was like late 2000 when we got the first computer. It was like close to 900, if my memory serves me correct. Close to 900, I think, around there. Or it might be 1,000. I don't remember exactly the price. We don't have receipts. So, that shit's been long ago. But yeah, that money is like way more than that's like way more than I originally paid for my main PC, which is, I call it the Vanquisher. I've been naming my PCs now. Of course, the Vanquisher has a i9 10th gen processor. All the majority of these parts, aside from the motherboard, which I bought, long ago, like 2022, were like they were like $1,000. It was over that price. But the $4,000 would be enough to get you either 2 of these exact machines, maybe 4. Your PC is called Milk. Interesting name. Duchette's currently called 8523. Interesting. I always believed that, like, I mean, some people probably think Pentiums are like the 586, but that's more of a, like, I don't know, it's like, it kind of fits i586. If they didn't name their, if they didn't name the, yeah, 8586, yeah, that's the thing. Intel, before the Pentium, were naming their processors after numbers. 8086, 8186, 8286, 8386, and 8486. It was after that they started naming the processors like Pentium, Celeron, I series, Core 2 Quad, Core 2 Duos, and whatnot. It was something. Alright, let's try copying one unit whole blood and see if it's any different. Because apparently, from what I recall, this version of blood can be a little bit unstable. They couldn't trademark a number. I guess. I mean, corporations, man. You gotta trademark stuff, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up trademarking a person. Oh wait, they can't do. Just a person's name. Because I learned about that because, hell, in the... I know this is me being a nerd about professional wrestling, for example. But you got wrestler names being trademarked by other federations and companies. And if you were no longer part of that company, you would have to use a different name. Apparently. So, probably the price of being a wrestler in a very popular federation, of course. But that's just me talking about wrestling, but yeah, I don't bring that shit very often, honestly, but because that's probably me being way too focused on technology and video game. Speaking of wrestling, but you know, stuff like that, I thought about making a review of a certain wrestling game. Keep in mind, this is one of the first 3D wrestling games out there. And it was, and the best part is, if you're familiar with Turok Dinosaur Hunter, they are the ones that made that one of the first wrestling games out there. That are 3D, of course. I remember playing that since childhood. Alright, let's copy over... Wait, I think this might have my other config on there. What? This is my 2021 copy, I think. Yeah, it's got the Docky name. And it's got Sound Blaster. Alright, I've changed DMA channels. Probably shouldn't be using that 44 kilohertz mixing rate. These sounds are more... I think they were more designed for 22 kilohertz or 11 kilohertz. Let's try 22, actually. Yeah, this definitely brings so many memories. I noticed people have been saying that. Pretty nice, honestly. You know, one day I should probably relive some of my memories on the Pentium 3 machine I have. The closest machine I have spec-wise, actually. I have, like, a Dell Optiplex, I think it's GX1110. No, 110, actually. My bad. It's got a Pentium 3 800 megahertz. Integrated Intel graphics. Yeah, the i810E chipset. Who remembers that shit? Remember the 3.1.1 days. Oh yeah, the funny part is, I first, like I said earlier on stream, I first discovered Windows 3.1 and 3.11 through my Virtual PC 2007 days. Well, not really at 2007, but it was back in 2011 or 12 that I discovered various other operating systems. Start off your retro build with an 810E motherboard. Oh, nice. Also, it might not be nice if you're planning to upgrade graphics cards because you're like limited to PCI or something stupid, but all part of limitations, man. I guess some people didn't like the 810E because of that, but it's whatever. Okay, that's the difference I'm talking about if you were there earlier. In older versions of Blood, there would be a gray slide bar. In the latest versions, it's just a blood drop as a slider. Well, I've got to turn this all the way, detail all the way up because we're not using a very low-end machine that time. It only makes sense if you're running like a 486 or a low-end Pentium. Alright. But get this. 1600 by 1200 resolution is the maximum here. I don't think it's going to perform very well. I would be surprised if it did. But we'll try it. Just gotta type rate, because that shows our frame rate here on the top right. You'll probably barely see it once I change the resolution. It's not really great, but we'll see. Will it work? It does. But god damn, man. Look at the frame rate here. Now that's peak performance. Am I using a CRT? Sadly not. I had to put some in storage due to space concerns. For right now, I'm using a 2007 Dell monitor to project the screen.
In the night, exchanging glances.
Hell, even lowering the screen to a size of a postage stamp only does so much. Oh my goodness. That's crazy, man. But yeah, you can say, well, I don't play these resolutions. Like, this game is probably more designed for something like 640 by 480, actually. Now, if you go to 640 by 480, that's more playable. Or if you don't mind, if you like to challenge yourself, perhaps play 16 by 1200 at this resolution here. But, yeah, anyways. People even nowadays still think Digitech is better. They never used a CRT before. Actually, what is Digitech? What? I'm trying to figure out. Is it like a type of monitor actually, or brand actually? IPS VA. Oh, okay. So you're talking about these modern monitors that were used, like VA, IPS, and stuff like that. Well, the funny part about CRTs is that we're at least getting somewhat of an alternative, at least for colors. Because I believe that there's an advent of the, I think it was called, what was it called? It was a type of monitor. But I noticed my phones use it, but they have good color. You know, alternatively. Because, you know, for games like these, CRTs are very nice playing on it. Now, if you ever... Yeah, OLED. That's what I'm talking about. OLED displays, or OLED, basically. They're about as close to a CRT as you can get in the modern day, actually. From what I recall. I love CRTs because they stay crisp. Yeah. That makes sense because, you know, scan lines, crispy display on the CRT, you know, even aperture grills and the like. The closest, the only monitor I have at the moment is, well, actually two monitors. One of them is darker and dim though. The other is starting to show some signs of issues. Okay, that's one of the problems I have with CRTs. Not that they're bad or anything, it's just their lifespans are, you know, tricky at best. And you have to be an expert of opening these up and servicing them and all that. It's like a... You got to be very much brave enough to, like, service a CRT monitor, apparently. Because one uncareful move you pull on that monitor, like touching the cathode ray tube when it's like kind of pretty much on despite not being turned on because there's like leftover charges and shit. There's a reason why we discharge monitors. One single touch of that would fucking kill you. Maybe. Just maybe. Oh gosh. Yeah, discharge capacitors, discharge pretty much a lot of things just to work on it safely. Even trying to make it safe to work with is a bit tricky in itself. I got 3 monitors, would trade all of them for a stable tube. I mean, yeah. Ah. Using only one hand can really help to prevent fatality. Yeah, that's about right. Do not use both hands. Unless you well, even when, yeah, high voltage ain't no joke, that's for sure. Because, you know, that shit could probably kill you if you're not careful. Damn it. Oh yeah, and the funny part, the zombies, like, just step over you like that. It's hard to hit them sometimes. Whoa, did I see that barrel, like, TNT barrel go on the bottom? That's interesting. Physics. Physics are interesting. So cool. I think the sound is like... sound is a bit quiet. Also, making sure the capacitors aren't turning into a pillow, of course. Oh yeah, that's another... Oh shit. But yeah, that's another concern with vintage tech, is aging capacitors and aging power supplies that could probably burst anytime. In fact, this machine is not using a modern power supply. It's actually using its original intended power supply. And sometimes I don't trust it because I'm afraid it will probably blow capacitor. It still works for now, but the question would be for how long? Because, yeah, that's one of the missions I see many people tend to have is, like, keeping these alive and well. Ceramic capacitor, 1,000 years life. Huh. Right, so that's the thing. The 486 I have, the Backrooms 486, I call it, basically has a modern power supply. It came with it, actually. Thankfully, there are ways to use modern power supplies on 486s, because back in the day, they were, like, powered with AT form factors. This is before ATX. Oh boy, there's a rat in there, is there? Oh shit, it bounced back. It's actually been a bit since I played without mouse. Not without mouse. Without mouse aiming, I mean. Like, mouse look up and down, I mean. I'm playing without mouse look. Alright. But yes, the best part here is I'm playing with a ball mouse, not with none of those optical mouses here. I thought about getting myself a optical mouse that's PS2 compliant. Not a USB mouse, but, you know, uses PS2. Not to be confused with the PlayStation 2, of course. That's the thing with that, is like, I'm sure it was originated from the IBM PS2s, but whenever you hear someone say PS2, you're thinking the PlayStation 2 and whatnot. It's like, it's kind of weird, because I grew up with the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox back in the day. Along with the Pentium 3. I was living that, like, the mid-2000s life. Well, the early 2000s life, kinda. Despite it being the mid to late 2000s. It's interesting. What's my opinion on 86 box? It misses a few cards I have. I usually think Emulation was a godsend. Like, a good alternative if you don't have the space nor the mentality of getting into vintage computers yet. I don't know about the space, but if you want, you know, space-friendly old computers, the alternative was either Emulation or, in fact, you know, systems like, you know, like the Unisys, but sadly those are not, you know, produced enough to be on sale. Or, I'd say getting an old laptop would be enough. Although you're going to be limited with proprietary hardware, of course. And proprietary parts if something goes wrong. Yeah, 86 boxes are, like I said, they are 86 box and PCEM and even DOS box are godsends for those who just want to play an old game without getting into vintage hardware entirely. I mean, it might inspire some people to get into vintage hardware like it did for me a little bit, but, you know, it's the commitment you gotta pull just to get into vintage computers. Like, learning MS-DOS, learning how to use floppy disks to boot the, you know, and install Windows, and you know, dealing with all the troubleshooting and, you know, both in and out of the PC. Like, God forbid you don't know how to learn how to set up a non-plug-and-play device manually too. Like, god damn. I've been learning about conflicts with hardware and stuff like that. Oh boy, it's chugging. Is it like that in these areas? Damn. Oh. Okay, that's wild. Let me go ahead and try 320 by 200 and see if it's any different. But yeah, 86 bucks if you have the proper hardware and, or powerful enough hardware, especially for 3D gaming. It's definitely worth trying out as an alternative to getting into vintage hardware. Funny how my knowledge, oh yeah, DOS viruses. Yeah, like, I remember, like, now this is the thing I liked. Watching, you know, viruses wreak havoc on various computers, it's like a time capsule, if you think about it. The only time I got into vintage computers is when I had to go to a shop for a PC for my girlfriend in the Philippines. Best cost was $20. Oh, nice. Yeah, so, and that was like a Core 2 Duo. I remember getting into vintage computers in 2012. And luckily, I almost scored. While I almost scored a Toshiba satellite laptop, it lacked a charger that it needed. So, out of luck, the people that worked for the thrift shop that nowadays is closed seem to have donated a couple of desktop computers. I couldn't get both, however, but I was able to get one of them. One of them I ended up getting was a HP Pavilion 4450. It had an Intel Celeron processor and 6 gigabytes of hard drive space. The other one I did not get was a bit more older. It was an old compact Corsaria with an Intel Pentium. I'm not sure if it was a 90 megahertz one though. But it had less space. I was told they would prefer if I got this one with more storage, so I went with Celeron. Okay, yeah, I do remember, like, viruses at the time were even more fucking dangerous, too, like, CIH virus. That shit can fuck your BIOS up. Pretty bad. From what I recall, it was bad enough that I probably don't want to make a video on about it, where I record myself doing this, you know, trying a sample of this virus. However, maybe one day if I have a computer that I really don't give a shit about, maybe a machine that probably, you know, I don't see any value in or something like that, or I don't want to use anymore. Sure, I'll probably use that as the test monkey of viruses and stuff. You know, and maybe I'll probably look into making a video about viruses and whatnot. You know, documenting, you know, how viruses back then were, like, very, very dangerous at the time. Or how easy it was to get a virus and overall. But yes, that's probably another advantage you can have with emulation. Especially 86 box PCEM. You fuck up the BIOS, you can just replace it. Just, you know, it's a file. It's a BIOS file. you're using here. You're emulating a BIOS that you grabbed somewhere, either on the internet or preferably on a BIOS dumper. Wink, wink, YouTube. You know, a programmer, of course. So, oh shit. Blood is a hard game for some, but if you know what to do and you know how to save ammo in long enough after these few levels, it starts to get pretty good. Interesting. Yeah, basically, as long as you have like a trashed PC or a piece of crap PC, I mean. Yeah, feel free to get into seeing what these viruses do. You know, just for historical value. But yeah, other than that, if you value your PCs, do not run viruses or try not to run viruses on these machines. Oh, and one more thing: when you run viruses, make sure you're not connected to the internet. There's a risk for that. That shit can like pass through the other PCs. Right, like Scavenger said. Make sure you don't have any floppies either. You don't want those infected too, and that could like spread. Make a card as a file. Yeah, BIOS for certain cards. Didn't know that were needed. I didn't know that was needed actually. Yeah, the all-real Vortex cards, the sound cards. They were meant for 3D sound, right? Yeah. I remember when I had CIH virus, I only wiped all the hard drive, and there was like, yeah, it kills the BIOS. It's like that's why it was so dangerous at the time, because if you fuck up the BIOS, your PC is now paperweight unless you have some access to a programmer or a separate PC. But at that point, you better hope you have a backup of your BIOS. If you don't, you pretty much have like a paperweight PC. Money is in the toilet now. Yeah, how many people had to recover from a trash CMOS by a virus? Yeah, like. That's why I don't fuck around with, like, used floppy disks as much. Or even downloaded floppy images, because, I'm worried that that would contain viruses and whatnot. And I really don't want to infect some of my hardware for that reason. But yeah. Right. And here comes the bane of my existence in this game. Tommy gun cultists. Oh fuck, they pushed me there. Shit, I forgot about that one super secret in the first level, actually. That would have been beneficial. BIOSes were more primitive back then, instead of them auto-detecting drives nowadays. Huh. Oh yeah, nowadays we just got, like, UEFI instead of the legacy BIOS. Yeah, basically UEFI. That's been also a thing with macOS 10 compliance. Well, Macs, of course, at the time. I think as early as the PowerPC days. You had to tell if it had, Huh. Yeah, the CHS, and sectors and all that stuff. You had to, like, tell that manually and whatnot. Had to write that shit down. But, you know, nowadays, you don't have to do that anymore, especially. Even started with the 486 machines, because, like, 486 machines come with a BIOS setting where, oh shit, I didn't save that time. Like, I would have hard drives, I think I have a hard drive that actually didn't tell me the megabytes, but only told me the CHS. Yeah, they used open firmware, right? But yeah, let's see. Bloodbath exclusive levels, everybody. Multiplayer. Gonna explore that for a bit. But yeah, hard drives. I think I have a Seagate hard drive, actually. It doesn't work anymore, but like I said, it does not have a... It really don't have, like, a way to tell how many megabytes you have. ATs and PS2s. Oh yeah, speaking of, this is an AT computer, actually. But not from IBM, of course. But yeah, the IBM PS2 lineups were kind of interesting, but they kind of have that proprietary streak to it. It's got that proprietary stink. Because they were trying to implement a rather proprietary standard, and that flopped. I don't remember what that was, actually. But it was an expansion slot, let's just say. It wasn't like PCI or AGP or even PCIe. It was like its own thing. And it made, you know, working with these machines kind of weird. Because there might be machines that probably only use that certain proprietary expansion slot. Right. Gotta sign off for the night. Have a good stream. Oh, thanks for watching, man. Hope to see you again on next stream. Trying to boot, it gives you 220. Icon manual. Oh, right, yeah. Remember when people didn't bother reading the manuals? Manuals are probably, like, a necessity. Same applies to games, because, you know, people got too spoiled by accessibility that apparently, oh, we don't need manuals and whatnot, but it turns out they were a necessity back in the day. God forbid the game has, like, copy protection. How long has it been, actually? Oh, it's almost been 3 hours. Alright. I'm probably gonna play, say, one more game, because I'm honestly, well, I kind of want to eat something soon, but let's try, maybe, let's end this with, this game here. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, I'll try another game, but for now, now this game, I think this is a remix version, because the remix version of this game called Radix, Beyond the Void, has proper controls. The older versions, however, seem to... Their controls, from what I've heard, sucked. But we'll see if this works. First off, before we continue on. Oh, look at this. This has a weird size here when it's windowed. But if you use it full screen, this is what it looks like. Very interesting, eh? Alright, set controller, control mouse, keyboard. Alright, let's try running it. Yeah, this is also published by Epic Games, of course. Or is this? Oh yeah, this is 2.0 Remix. I thought they got rid of the Epic logo after that, but... Wait. Is the sound not working? I don't know if it does, but either way. Let's try demo. Yeah, there's no sound, so... But yeah, reminds me, back then, when I had my Pentium 3, I had no sound. I was without speakers for a while. That's how people played games back then sometimes. Like, they couldn't afford a sound card or a speaker. They had to play with, they had to have their sounds be played with their own head. Or, as funny as it is, actually. There you go. Pew, 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 pew. Explosion sounds. Dying sounds. And secret area. Yeah, or if your game was lucky enough to have PC speaker support, and then you would just have a bunch of beeping and crap. So, yeah, I guess that's how people remember PC speaker, especially Doom, because, like, people growing up playing playing Doom on PC speaker. Yeah, it's the PC speaker. Adlib was more arcade soundy, like, it sounds like an arcade machine from the 1980s, if you think about it. It was not digitized. For digitized sound, you would be referring to the Sound Blaster. Yeah, it was PC speaker ports. That would be more PC beeping, and you didn't need speakers to actually have it work. It's just, you have a built-in speaker on the PC case. Or something like that. Now, Fast Doom, I've heard about it. I plan to make a video about it, but I do not have a 386, so the lowest I could end up going if I were to make a video would be my 486, but the turbo functionality is turned off. It will probably be the equivalent of maybe 33 megahertz 486. That'll be the closest of a slower machine that I have. Explosions. But yes, I thought about making a video about it one day. Prince of Persia. I recall playing a bit of that too, actually. Prince of Persia, I heard, was very difficult. Well, actually, the second game was even more difficult from what I recall, but I might try to revisit that as a attempt at playing it through, but I would imagine I'll have to be very, very patient playing it because, well, I don't know about patient because they got a time limit here. If my memory serves me correct here. The functionality of it's still great, even beyond 386. Well into vanilla gameplay on old buggy systems. Huh. I wonder if there's any Vis plane limits. I mean, some may know, some do, about the limitations of Doom's content. If my memory serves me correct, Vis planes are more varying heights, or how much it can handle. So if it passes the limit, the game crashes with a Vis plane overflow. However, there have been source ports that came out that bypasses those limits. There's also seg faults and all sorts of stuff. Funny enough, actually, this game I'm playing here, Radix, I thought I used to call it Radix at the time, but Radix, however, it's like Descent, but a Doom-like engine. It's like a mix between Doom and Descent. Descent, however, is kind of one of the true 3D games, except it's not entirely the case. I mean, the level is pretty much true 3D. It's just that not everything was true 3D. We got, like, sprites of the hostiles? The hostages, I mean. Weapon pickups, item pickups. The only thing that was 3D was the levels, the ships, the robots, and whatnot. Even the reactor that you had to blow up for each level. Now, boom-compatible levels, that would mean, yeah, if the water wanted to play is boom-compatible, you'll need boom. There is Doom 2 Ray Trace. I heard something about that. There was one that was made in PR Boom, or something like that. I've been meaning to try that out since I got a proper machine that is actually kind of capable of ray tracing. Except it's not a NVIDIA card, it's actually an AMD graphics card. I'm using a very latest graphics card from AMD, actually. The Radeon 7600 XT, I think. Oh yeah, and you got these enemies here. Unlike Descent, You got enemies that actually jib. They got their guts spilling out, something like that, blowing up and all that crap. You don't get that in Descent, but maybe the closest you ever get to something like that later on would be Forsaken. Another 6 Degrees of Freedom first-person shooter, because that has gore on it. Like specifically, the player that you're playing as tends to blow up some, gore. He's got gore on it. So, is my sound card PCI or ISA? For me, it's actually an ISA sound card. It's from Yamaha, actually. I don't know why the sound ain't working on this game here. Okay, maybe that's another weird issue with ME sometimes. Certain games have some troubles with drivers, and DOS compatibility is a little bit mixed, but that's to be expected. DOS mode is also wonky even if you like try to enable it. It is a bit wonky. That's why I kind of see that's why some people prefer 98 a little bit. It's because 98 is a bit more compatible, whereas ME was more out of the box. It's like it comes packed with certain convenient features, unlike 98. But 98 is most compatible out of the bunch. 95 is the most light. Well, yeah, Windows 95. I kind of like Windows 95 a little bit more because of that reason, but, But sometimes that could be a little bit hectic, too. Now, DOS. If I want to play DOS games, I guess I've grown to, prefer playing my DOS games under DOS, through DOS mode at least. That's one cool feature Windows 95 and 98 tend to have is DOS mode. But yeah, as for Linux, being used to Linux and all, that's one of the operating systems I tend to have some, issues with. It's not a bad operating system. It's just that I have a hard time, getting into it for certain reasons. But that's not to say, that there's a possibility that I might try to adjust to it as more software gets developed for it. Like splitting the audio on my main PC, VTuber software, because after all, this avatar or VTuber here is on the left screen and it's being controlled with a Windows exclusive Unity program. 95 had more, yeah, it had a memory limit, I think. Did that require patches, actually? I know 98 did as well. Because otherwise, if you had, like, too much RAM or something, it makes Windows 98 not able to boot. That's another weird issue with 95 on this PC in particular, because I had to downclock the CPU because of an error that had to be patched out. Luckily, there is a Patcher 9X thing too, so never tried it. Yeah, I think I tried it for a little bit on 98, but that was another weird thing. I tried to install Windows 98 on this machine, and for some reason, it just won't install. It gave me a control panel related, error, and it won't continue installing Windows, even if I clicked out of it. It was weird. Yeah, but I guess the thing is, like, faster processors is the weakness for 95 out the blue, or out of the box, I mean. So, in order to make it work, you have to patch it, pretty much. Look, funny enough, before Patcher 9X was a thing, there was, like, an official patch from Microsoft that fixes these issues, specifically on AMD K6-2. But yes, what's this here? Oh, right. Is there one that allows me to go super speed or something? Open source 64-bit DOS extender. That would be an interesting. Is that a thing actually? I do know there's like ADOS 32 or DOS 32A replacement for 4GW extender. But the idea sounds interesting, actually. But yes, that's the thing. I don't know what people would do with DOS nowadays, aside from, you know, hobbies. But I guess there's one thing I will say. We do need a good foundation on developing modern DOS games. At least for me, because honestly I'm not great at programming, but it would be nice to have. Where am I going? Is it Alt? There we go. Right, there we go. What's this? Oh, right, this has to open, I think? Oh, yeah, gosh, that pushes you back there. But yes, I'll have to consider the idea of playing through some game at some point. I've been thinking about this pretty lately here, because I do know I played through Unreal this year already. But the thing is, I have a 3D effects card. Prior, I was playing this on a TNT card. Or NVIDIA card, to be exact. I think it was like a GeForce 2MX. Just to get some frames. I debated on playing Unreal again despite doing it so many times. But that's something I'm going to think about. However, I do believe I have not played through Return to Nepali in a while. There's one famous writer who wrote books on DOS PC. Oh yeah, there's probably some people that probably like that distraction-free text authoring stuff. You know, writing text, of course, just, you know, without much distractions. All right. Alright, I'm gonna get something to drink here. But anyways, that was probably it for me. That's, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty nice, doing a bit of tinkering and whatnot with this machine. I'm really glad you guys were able to watch this with me. Really good stream indeed. But yeah, I will say, the next time I stream, I think it might be more... Let's see. I kind of want to do Duke Nukem 3D on 486. All these can be goodies, that's for sure. But yeah, hopefully I can see people chime in next time. But keep in mind, schedules are really inconsistent. If you miss a stream, at least the VOD is right there. I have an inconsistent sleep schedule, so yeah. Meanwhile, I do have a upcoming video on the 30th, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's see. 486 DX100. Yeah, I actually have like a 100 megahertz 486 actually. Multi-cores on DOS. Lots of flight stuff. Huh. That's interesting. But yes, now for demo scene stuff, I consider the idea of recording myself running these demo scene programs. I don't know about showing them on stream sometimes, because you gotta keep in mind, there are some things I can't run without... There's some things I can run just fine on stream, but some I can't. The thing is, I'm trying to like prevent, you know, sexual content and whatnot a little bit, because age restrictions are no joke here. I gotta keep my channel, like, you know, out of trouble, because like I said, in the past there's been not copyright, community guideline strikes issues on this channel. It's like, this year happened, like, I think like, it was like in around, I think it was around March, I got a copyright strike from, because of a random ass video that I did like it's like 2 years ago. It was an unedited stream highlight video and whatnot. Weird, I know. Like, Um, so switch here to chatting. All right. All right. So, yeah, you had an Aptiva DX2, slow as hell. That's one thing I've noticed. Duke Nukem 3D on a 486, it's decent. But it was, I remember at one point where development of the game was like, it had to be trimmed down so people could run it on 486 machines. At least enjoy it, I mean. The game was very detailed at the time. At least at the time, in 1995. But yes, maybe I might run a poll after the stream here for those who are interested. I'm gonna see here, would people see me want to play Duke Nukem 3D on the 486, Rise of the Triad maybe, or Doom 2? We'll have to see. But yeah, Doom 2 I'm pretty sure I've completed like a couple times, but well, Unreal, I could probably put a vote. I'll probably put that on there. Since I know I played it already, and I know some maybe people that already seen these streams in February haven't, well, maybe might get a little bit bored out of it. Maybe, I don't know for sure, but at the same time, those VODs are gone due to panic over the community guideline strike. I like to keep these VODs around, so maybe I'll probably revisit it at some point. But for now, I may consider it. But speaking of Unreal, I have been working on a maybe the first episode of it's basically for those who are unaware, and I have not brought this up very like often enough. We're gonna have a History of Unreal series coming soon. At least that's a project of mine, where I will take a look. It's a series of videos where I will take a look at the history of Unreal, in bits and pieces of it, more in depth, and trying to be as more accurate as possible. That's gonna be a project that might be interesting. It won't be one video, that's for sure. It's a series of videos, episodes, and whatnot. So at least I could try to have videos of that pumping out in the long run, and people can keep on with these videos, because there's so much interesting stuff that I would like to bring up one day, and even some theories on it. And grenade bouncing sounds, legend. Oh gosh, yeah. So that's one thing. The 8-ball launcher, we already have that, but if I play Return to Napali, there is one weapon that this doesn't make sense at all. The fucking grenade launcher. Okay, maybe there's one cool feature that had, like proximity grenades, but other than that, why use a grenade launcher when you could just use the 8-ball launcher? It has an alternative fire that, you know, acts like as a grenade launcher. It's very interesting. But yeah, that's what's cool about Unreal, is the weapons a bit. So, but yeah, ah, right. But yeah, that's about it for tonight. I thank you all for sticking around on the stream here. May do another stream like this again one day. But for now, the next stream will be me playing through something as usual, based on the poll results, so I'll probably put up a poll. And do expect a video on the 30th, hopefully. I don't like missing deadlines at times for, you know, certain, you know, anniversaries. But anyways, that's about it. As always, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more content, and remember, give my money. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Peace out, anybody, and everybody. I mean, See ya. And thanks for watching.